name is Nona.
My name is Saskia.
Welcome back to our channel. Today's video is 9 things you should know before you buy a horse. So our first point is your budget. Always have a clear idea of your budget in mind before you go and view a horse. If you're anything like us, you're going to go along and fall in love with the horse, and then you'll find out that it's outside of your budget and you're either going to let go of your dream horse or you've got to step up and pay more than you normally would have done so you don't lose your dream horse. So make sure you know your budget before you go and view, and don't go and view any horses that are outside of your budget because you will fall in love with them and then you will have to spend more.
If you're a beginner and this is your first pony, you want to make sure that you're bringing along someone who is experienced with you so they can ride your horse beforehand and let you know if they are good for you or not. You also want to make sure that your pony is easy to catch, tie, shoe and float because you don't want to be teaching them while you're still learning yourself.
So if you are a little bit more advanced and you're looking to take on more of a project horse, do review what your capacity to take on is. Are you ready to take on a completely unbroken horse and handle it yourself and then do the breaking in process? Are you looking more for like a green broke horse? What we mean by that is that they've just been broken in but they need all of their training doing still. Or are you looking for something that is already trained, knows how to be ridden, but is a little bit more challenging? So please do not break in any horses before you are ready to do so, as it will be dangerous for you and for the horse.
When you're thinking about buying a horse, you want to know what your end goal is going to be. So do you want a dressage horse? Do you want to be an eventer? Do you want a happy hacker? Because you want to know what your end goal is so you're working with your horse and not against them to achieve your final goal.
When you found a horse that you want to go and view, try and gather as much of their background as you can. So if you are looking, for example, at a thoroughbred or a pacer, find out if they've raced. For example, for our horses, Truly and Wren are both thoroughbreds. Truly was never raced. I think she may have been tried once, but she never even received a race name. Like, she clearly just was not cut out for it. And so she never went through that racing career. Whereas Wren did have a racing career of about 6 years. So in terms of their training, we do things slightly differently, as Truly is much less fussed by a lot of things than what Wren is. So I do have to be careful with Wren, as I don't know if things maybe affect him because of his racing career, or may just be because that's the type of horse that he is. And our little one, Effie, she's actually a rescue and she came from a hoarding background. And right at the very start, we had to be quite careful with the way that we were with her just because she was quite sensitive. I know it doesn't seem it now because she's a much more bold little pony now, but at the very beginning, she was very shy, she was very withdrawn. And it took a lot of time and patience with her and her with us for her to come to us and actually come out of her shell a little bit more.
When you're going to view your horse, make sure that you have a vet check as well, just so you can make sure if they have any previous injuries such as tendon injuries and Queensland itch. You also want to make sure that they are up to date with their vaccinations. Also ask someone to trot them up for you so you can assess their legs and their gaits to make sure that they're not lame.
So a couple of questions you want to ask before you buy your horse is things like, do they load okay? Do they pick up their feet for the farrier? And are they good to catch? Do they have any buck, bolt, bite or rear in them? This is especially important if you are a beginner. You don't want to have any of those things. If you are a little bit more experienced, you can take on these. It's not that they're incurable. It's just obviously if you're not ready to take that on, it can again be dangerous for you and for the horse as well.
You also want to know if the horse is going to be dominant or submissive in the field.
Especially if you do have existing horses. Horses do have a hierarchy that they will all trickle down into, but especially if you do have, say, like 2 dominant horses that you're introducing to each other, it can be safer to introduce them over a fence so they can't get to each other, as sometimes they can have a little bit of a standoff. It's not too much of a worry. They will figure out who's more dominant than the other, and they will generally have an order. So for example, for our horses, Wren's the boss, Truly's second in command, and then it kind of fizzles down to Paloma, Minnie, and Effie as the babies. So lastly, when you do go to view your horse, you want to make sure that they are loose in the field so you can catch them yourself and tack them up yourself. You don't want to leave the seller able to hide anything from you. If you do rock up and they are already tacked up, it could mean that they've ridden the horse before you, that the horse may have issues with its girth or issues being caught, that you then won't find out until you've bought the horse, and then you suddenly go and catch it in the field and you spend an hour chasing it around. So here are some examples of what you should be looking for. And this is an example of what maybe you should not be looking for.
So I hope this video has helped you all figure out what you're looking for when you're buying your first horse, or your second or your third,
or your fourth or your fifth.
or your fourth or your fifth.
We wish you all the best in your endeavours with your new friend. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye!